Hey everyone, it's me again, Dewey. I'm back at the Champaign Museum. The only reason I'm here because I just had a meeting for Murphy, a Mideastern regional fly-in that we'll have in the summer, and I'm bothering Randy Kemp again, who is actually the program manager of the B-17 that you guys got to see a couple weeks ago, and he actually runs this museum, all the maintenance. And behind me is Champaign Gal, which is a B-25 that Randy also takes care of. He's the caregiver, and he's going to talk about the B-25 and maybe some of the events that you guys attend.
Yeah.
Okay, and I'll try not to bore you guys, and because he tells a lot of great history, and he tells us a lot of good stuff. So you guys are more than welcome to write whatever you like if you guys catch this live. So anyway, Randy, I'm going to turn the camera around to you, okay?
All right. Well, you've got a B-25J. This airplane was built in 1945, and it was built in Kansas City. Stayed in military service until 1958. Never saw combat. It was relinquished to be a TB, which was a trainer bomber, and it was a NAV designation, so it was a TBN, and stayed in navigation training all the way up through the 50s. 58 it was surplused, went up the northeast corridor of the US and went into Canada and became a fire bomber. And a lot of the World War II heavy aircraft that are around that weren't transport, the aircraft were used for bug spray fire bombers, and they're really the savior for the airplane's airframe, that they're still around today and we're still flying them is they had a previous life. So we're in for winter maintenance. It's not an annual, it's a 100-hour inspection. So because it's a heavy airplane, it's over 12,000 pounds, so you've got a different criteria you have to inspect it to. And we fly this thing between 30 and 40 hours a year, which if you take that time and factor in fuel burn, you're looking at 75 to 100 gallons an hour per engine in fuel, and about a gallon an hour in oil. So at 4.5 a gallon for fuel kind of gives you an idea of what it takes to operate this thing. Tires, tubes and tires, $15,000. Brakes, $15,000. We're looking at pulling the propellers every 5 years because of a forced inspection and an AD for corrosion, cracks. The Hamilton Standard Automatics all have to go through that. That's running between $6,000 and $7,000. Other repair work, you can go up from there. Airplane holds 620 gallons of fuel, 310 each side. I'm only using my mains. I'm not using my aux tanks. We carry up to 10 people. I can carry 5 in the front, 5 in the back, and it's fairly comfortable seating for a. I've got a lot of time flying bombers. Most of them were 10, 12, 14. Started out flying on a 2x6, laying on its side. After 4 hours, somebody's standing the 2x6 up on its edge, and after 8 hours, it feels like you're sitting on the edge of a 1/4-inch sheet of plywood. You're on an ejection seat and you're about ready to use it. You want out of the airplane. Not having a tremendous amount of range, this airplane will fly about 4 hours, and at that point you're going to want out of the airplane. You're going to want something to eat, restroom break, and come back and tend to the airplane and go on from there. I've been to Oshkosh this year, went to Cleveland Air Show, Dayton Air Show, a lot of county fields. Kent State University, it's a big air university. They love us coming up there. We're a lot of shade. It's a hot day. It's one thing about taking a B-25 to an airfield. You're bringing in your own shade. We do $5 cockpit tours and sell shirts and hats. That helps us maintain the airplane. You seek an appearance fee and a fuel kind of a stash. You kind of try to work out between money and gas what your appearance would be. Flies great. It's been flying about 7 years now, squawk free, which is an accomplishment. I've got 4 different crew members that I have to make adjustments on. I don't have to make adjustments on. I have to keep tuning them up. So
Pilots are important, huh?
usually get rid of a problem, which
Wow.
no,
Yep.
we've done good. We hold a pretty good regiment. Just think about these old military airplanes that were built for the military purpose. They were operated to a military discipline and maintained to a military discipline. We use all the original tech orders. The -1 for flight ops, -2 for maintenance, -3 for structures, and -4 is your parts book. Then you got overhaul manuals and everything else in between. I'm doing a valve adjustment. That's what Dewey's showing you. He's showing you the rockers on the R2600s. They produce on a good day 1,600 horse. You're looking at the length of these exhaust stacks. You're only looking at 10-inch stack. Couple that with a propeller noise, you're looking at probably the lot of B-25 crews are legitimately they're deaf. They actually fared worse than a lot of the early turbine engine pilots.
Right.
Because usually I had a crash helmet on for the turbine pilots.
You guys look here. These are the valves. All right. So looks like this is. What is
It's
it?
an intake.
Yeah, this is the intake valve. This is exhaust valve here. And
Both the same clearance, which is kind of surprising. Some of them, some airplane engines, you've got a difference of 4, maybe 5 thousandths between intake and exhaust, but these run pretty close to the same temperature, so valve expansion and growth of the
Okay.
stem, it's pretty much uniform.
so this is 1,600 horsepower.
Yep.
Okay. How many gallons of oil does this hold per engine?
Well, there's 37 on the dipstick in the tank, and then you're looking at, because you're looking at 1-inch hoses, the prop feather pump, the oil coolers, both the oil coolers hold about 2.5 quarts, so and all the plumbing, what's laying in the bottom of the engine just after shutdown, you could hold up to another 10 gallons conceivably through the system. So you're looking at 55-gallon drum to run about $1,000.
Wow.
Yeah, you've had to buy a couple of them.
Yeah. But you guys are going through probably a 55-gallon drum per oil change, right?
Through the summer, and
Wow.
then I do each engine. Yeah, you're looking at 55 gallons. So you're going to shoot the daylights out of a full barrel just filling one engine up. Then going out doing your runs and coming back and topping it off. You'll squeeze the barrel dry.
Let's look at the Bombay here. It's as
Yeah, the bomb load on this airplane was rated about 6,000 pounds. So you could carry about any combination, 100 pound, 150, 300, 500, 1,000, 2,000 pound, depending on what you're going after. That pretty much dictates the mission. If you're going after sub pens, they're heavily reinforced. If you're going after troop movements and light armor, then you use a little different configuration. You can see the number of signatures we've got on.
all right. She's back running. Something's running. My gimbal's not running, but this is running. Okay. And it still says maybe because the too much metal maybe is stopping the cell phone reception. But let's go ahead and keep going. Let's try it out here.
Yeah.
We were back into Bombay here.
And you can see the signatures on the doors. Like I said, you've got Tuskegee Airmen, B-25 crews. I've got Indianapolis Survivor. Pretty neat stuff. Guys that were in the invasion of Okinawa.
Wow, that's cool.
I've got a couple of pictures of Dick Cole. He flew one of these. He flew it off of the deck of the U.S. Hornet, April 18th, 1942. He was the first legitimate strike on Japan. Dick was Jimmy Doolittle's co-pilot, and he just turned 101. So he came up last April, spent here, and then ran into him again at Oshkosh. We had 15 airplanes here. I've done 4 Doolittle reunions. I've had as many as 20 B-25s here. And I get called all day long. They want to know when the airplanes are going to leave. My dog won't sleep, the dishes are rattling in the cupboard. And make them go away, you have to apologize that that's the sound of freedom. On a good day, first thing in the morning, if you take off of this airplane because you guys short stacks and you hit 40 inches of manifold pressure, your fuel burn will be blue, and you can have blue flames coming all the way down the outside of the engine nacelle. And anybody that's standing or sitting in for that, if you're on takeoff, they're sitting. But anybody that's in the waist gun area, you'll see those blue flames coming out and almost meeting at the trailing edge of the nacelle, and they're usually in panic mode, screaming at a pitch that'll shatter glass over the interphone. You have to calm them down and tell them that blue flames are what you want. Yellow ones, call me.
So that thing is shooting flames from that all the way back.
Oh yeah.
That's
Yeah,
15 to 20 feet.
Well, it's about 10 feet.
Is
You're
it?
getting- oh yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, you're really pouring the fuel through it.
So you're burning about 200 gallons, probably
Yeah.
more than that on takeoff.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that power setting, you think you got a hole in the tank. Waist gun areas, you got a gun stuck out left and right side. These are 5-foot 50s, they call them. They look good to get within 5 feet. We make a lot of the components. The only thing that's really original on it, you can see through the window carefully, is the N6 gun sight. That's original. The feed chute is, and a couple of these got an original carriage. But for the most part, everything else is sheet metal, painted railroad black. It looks impressive. Don't get out in front of the bank with one. You're going to want a real one because everybody else shows up is going to have a real one. It's not a good place to get.
Yeah.
Your tail number, it's not the same as the serial number. Your N number registration versus the military serial number. And this airplane usually dropped one of the fours, so it was 44 was a contract year, and 28866, which puts it the Fairfax, the Kansas City factory. I talked to the test pilot who actually flew this airplane, and he's eager to come out. He's 94, 95 years old.
The test pilot of this airplane.
The test pilot flew it out of the factory.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Got 3 or 4 airplanes that are still surviving that he actually flew. So there's 500-pound bombs. It constitutes about a 2,000-pound bomb load. Dewey pans left. He'll show you my old rusty truck.
Yeah.
I'll put those in the back of my truck, and you're going down the highway at 70 miles an hour with 2,000-pound bomb load. And all the kids, just like Dewey, got their smartphones out splattered to the side windows of the minivan, screaming at their moms, Mom, there's some bombs. It's fun. Yeah. Should never let me have the keys to this place. This thing gets 30 miles to the gallon, does 70 miles an hour. People wave with all their fingers. But it's painted, of course, it and the tug both match. I've got a tow motor on the other side I tow the airplanes with, and it's a Northwestern. It's more low slung like a Jeep, but they're both painted, it's 1974 Ford LTD green. It's a perfect OD green match, but it's shiny and it's metallic. It drives some of the military vehicle guys nuts.
Man.
They look at you, what kind of paint is this? I don't know, but you need to wax yours. Well, we can go, if you want to climb the ladder and look in the cockpit.
Can we do that?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, you grab what's yellow, not what's red.
Okay.
So you go up first.
Or
you can go up.
I don't care. It might be safer.
Yeah.
All right, guys. I'm going to change the camera around. So we're going to actually climb up. This is going to be quite interesting.
Business office.
Yeah.
Grab what's yellow.
There's a yellow handle. I'm on a step ladder here that's built on the airplane. I don't want to pull that red handle there.
That's the emergency landing gear extension pump.
Okay. Oh my goodness.
I haven't had to use it yet.
This is not as much room as I thought it would be.
Most bombers are pretty tight. You put one stick of gum
Can
in
I
your
step
pocket.
there?
Yep, stand there, grab the seat back, and climb on up.
All right.
Yeah, it's cheating. We got a real nice Garmin in it. So You're flying watching TV. That's not fair.
Yeah. It gets you from A to B nowadays, though. A lot easier.
Yeah. Beauty is everything works. It's as advertised. It's got plenty of power. You got great maneuverability. Every now and then I get a whiny co-pilot squawk, but for the most part, we're in pretty good shape.
All right, so throttles, props, mixture.
Cowl flaps, that's carb heat. Cowl
Flaps here.
Yep.
All right.
Superchargers. And
Okay.
they're usually locked in low. This airplane, you don't have any need whatsoever for high boost. Used high boost in the old airplanes on superchargers when you went transitional speeds usually above 12 to 14,000 feet. And it's a real slow process. You should never feel the airplane actually, it's like kicking in afterburners. No. You should never notice any change in performance other than the fact that the engine knows it changed.
So what's a normal manifold that you pull on takeoff?
We're looking at 40 inches on takeoff, and you're looking at max cruise is usually 30, climb is usually 33. So the thing with a supercharged engine is you want to keep your manifold pressure slightly above your RPM. They call that square. So if you're running between 1900 RPM and you want to maintain about 20 to 22 inches of manifold pressure.
Okay.
And that's a comfortable cruise. You're still cooking along at about 150 knots. So you're doing pretty good.
Wow.
Yeah, economy cruise.
Are these your...
It's electric solenoid. It's a holding coil that's built into the switch, and that energizes the pumps that are on the engine firewall, and that produces enough oil pressure to take the airplane from low pitch to high pitch into the feather. And then once it's in feather, it'll kick the button out, and then to come out of feather, you depress the button, let the solenoid pick it up and hold it, and it'll produce sometimes up to around 1400 psi of engine oil pressure to bring those blades, drive the cams out of the over center and bring the blades out of full pitch, out of
full feather.
And once they start, then the aerodynamic forces, if you're flying, the aerodynamic forces will spin the engine around, and CTM, centrifugal twisting motion, pulls the blades back to whatever pitch setting the governor is at.
Well, that's the view from the right window.
You can see how close you are to the prop tips and the exhaust stacks. So,
Yeah, it's loud in here.
once you start the first engine, you're talking loud. When you start the second one, you put on headsets.
You put on it.
Yeah, pretty much stops all normal comm.
All right, this is down on the floor. There's the aileron trim and the rudder trim.
You got gear handle, two locks.
Okay.
The flaps, you're looking at a pistol grip for the flaps, and your cowl flaps.
What's the red handle here?
This is your hand hydraulic pump. Before you do an engine start, you'll pump on your brake accumulator. You run this up to about 500 psi, and that's just so you got braking. The hydraulic pump comes up real quick. By the time you fire and the engine goes to idle, you've got system pressure between 800 and 1,000 psi.
Okay.
And so you got full control of your brakes.
So you don't start up and start rolling and hit something?
Yeah.
I hear you.
Hey, Randy.
Yeah.
So
This part you had been cut out?
Yeah.
Racing cut out? Well, anyway, it's one
you guys can see the B-17 is sitting over
I
here.
got it cut out. I gave it to Phyllis because I knew she was working on that.
That's a
Okay.
Stinson,
Just want to let you know what it was.
Thank you.
or sorry, a Fairchild 24.
Anyway, thanks.
Yeah. Thank you.
And Randy is here giving a tour. Randy's here giving a tour of a B-25 called Champaign Gal. We're sitting in the cockpit area right now, and if you guys, haven't got to see the whole live video, you can go and see the outside exterior, kind of walk around that Randy gave, talk about the engines, the fuel burn. Now we're, like I said, I'm setting up in the pilot seat. co-pilot seat here, and they've been flying this airplane for a couple different years.
Yeah, about 7 years.
7 years. He takes care of this and the B-17. It's all volunteers, and the B-17, if you guys haven't seen that video, it's about 48 minutes long. It's really, really good. And before I end this live video, I want to go over there and show the cowling. The cowling is taking shape, and on the video they were beating flat metal round. Well, there's kind of some progress that's happened for a month ago.
Got one panel riveted in.
Yeah.
So it's 3 skins to make one cowl segment.
But you guys can see here, this is the cockpit, and all steam gauges, except they do have a GPS in here now, which is really good because
it's fully IFR.
Oh yeah.
I can't go out IFR, but it's nice to be able to come home that way.
Sure. Yeah. Hey,
I don't carry a life raft normally, so I like a runway under me when I land.
I like these seats.
Nice seats.
So here I'm looking to the aft part. There's the circuit breaker panel.
And you've got the top turret. You're just gonna have to stand here, but you've got a crawl space that goes forward to aft over the bomb bay. It's a stainless steel slide.
Okay.
So in flight, you can transition forward to aft. You can go from the nose all the way to the tail on this airplane, but you can't get in the bomb bay.
So, in real life, this is how they would travel through the airplane.
Yep.
If you guys can see that, it's about actually, it's probably 2 foot
feet.
tall.
Yeah, it's 2 foot.
2 foot tall once you get in there, and then you have to crawl, and you can crawl to the back to the rear gun position. This is the bomb bay area, the aluminum there.
Yeah.
There's the circuit breakers. Randy's got a phone call coming through.
Yeah,
it's the boss.
Getting it out of the way.
Oh, here I come. Now I try not to fall. I'm stepping down here. This is the
you can get a shot looking up the tunnel.
that's the top turret there. I'm gonna step down here. Oh. So there's the tunnel. Takes you to the rear portion of the airplane. And I guess this is 2 jump seats right here.
Yep.
Is this where do you go when they take off?
I'm sitting behind you right there.
Okay. Randy's he is the crew chief and everything. Randy worked on B-52s in the Air Force, so he knows a lot about heavy aircraft. A little bit about them, I guess.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Not as much as you think you know. It always bites you right where you don't want to get bit.
Looks like a hydraulic reservoir here.
Yeah. B-25 is a hydraulic airplane.
So everything's hydraulic.
Yep.
Flaps, gear.
Yep. It's all cable over with the exception of bomb bay, and that's a servo.
Okay.
So everything else is cable over, which is stupid proof.
Okay.
You get into fly-by-wire airplanes and I run. I don't like them. They scare me.
So this is what it looks like. I'm standing right by the, I guess, the exit point. Now I'm going to step down this ladder, but there's the cockpit and looking out. Looks like you have an emergency exit hatch on the top there. All right, I'm going to step down. I think we're going to go to the rear of the aircraft now, where the rear gunner and everything is. Here's how you get to the front guns. You have this little hallway, so you can climb right through this area here. Pretty interesting. Now I'll try not to fall. Ooh. I'm getting down.
I'm around this side.
All right, where are you at? Over here.
You want to go back and look at cowling?
Yeah, let's go look at the cowling here on the B-17.
Here's my tug. And it's painted up, look like an Army Jeep, low slung.
Yeah.
I used to push DC-8s and DC-9s around with it. It'll climb a tree. You got to ride the brakes the whole time. It weighs 12,800 pounds. The B-25 weighs about 18,000.
That tug's 12,000.
Yeah.
Wow. You need a type rating. Here's Doolittle Raiders. A lot of cool stuff. You know, the B-17 that they're building. Oh, I know that so well.
Jack Tiffany.
That's
Yeah.
my friend Andrew. If you guys ever see the videos of
Leading Edge Birdman.
yeah,
And then you can see the 2 generations.
yeah,
So that was the Dayton Air Show. It was about 4 years ago, 5 years ago.
that's
now.
cool.
And the Osprey crew thought that airplane was just off the hook.
So this is 1931 Pitcairn Auto Gyro. Kermick Weeks owns it now down in Lakeland, Florida.
Yeah.
And Jack Tiffany built it, and that's resume. All right, guys, I lost you. I'm sorry, but we're back. I'm going to end this very shortly, but here's the cowlings of the B-17. You guys check that video out. It's pretty cool. You're all right. It was flat metals when I stopped by here, but yeah, check this out. You guys has been working on this. 100% made. U.S. made. Volunteer made. Everything.
There's some original parts on here, but the problem is it's been 75 years or so since they've been made, and everybody else has got old junk. So
Look at that. That is crazy. Thank
you've
you
got
guys.
36 skins. You can see where the skin joint is. Takes 3 skins for each segment, and then 3 segments for each engine, times 4. So you're looking at
Too many.
a lot of hammering. Yeah.
Yeah, you will.
Yeah, and then he's got the next one back here that we replace them 1 skin at a time. That helps us keep our profile. Then we'll end up with all 3 of them on the floor. All 4 engines, basically it's the same cowl ring, but you'll find out when you're in multiple cowling situations that one engine is real fussy about which cowl ring fits it, so they end up being kind of engine specific. You end up with number 3 engine's the toughest one to get cowling on, or
Right. Sure.
name calling.
Well,
Stuff across the ramp.
I probably should let me get one more quick overview of the B-25 and we'll call it quits. And
Thanks, guys.
yeah, thank you. It's crazy.
War Department.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So guys, I'm about to end the live stream here. Hope you guys share it and enjoy this kind of stuff. But this is keeping history alive and keep things flying. But this is Champaign Gal. If you're around the Ohio area, you'll see this at a lot of air shows and local county airports. They fly the airplane quite often. Very friendly. You can come to this museum. It's in Urbana, Ohio. It's free to get in. You can always send them a donation because it's all volunteers here trying to keep things going. And that's about it. So I'm gonna head home, and I hope you guys enjoyed this. I always see these guys when I'm doing biplane rides all over the Ohio and even Indiana and stuff like that, but appreciate it. I'll keep making some pretty fun videos and hopefully keep you guys interested in this stuff. Until then, blue skies.